Hi, and welcome back to Full Cup Astrology from Australia. I'm filming from Perth, Australia today, and a little bit late for our typical full moon forecast, but here we go. We have a big full moon happening in Aries, and I am going to give you the general overview, which is going to talk about all the important information you need to know about this moon. And then the sign by sign will give you a better idea of how this is going to show up in your life. So this Aries full moon is happening at 24 degrees Aries. This has a huge grand cross, which I'm going to talk about in detail, but this is where the intense and potentially more challenging energy is going to show up. And we have some beautiful aspects from Jupiter and Venus, our lovely benefics that bring a saving grace energy and vibration to this moon. So for Aries, this moon is happening at 24 degrees. If you have planets or personal points from 20 degrees to 29 degrees, especially in the cardinal signs, Aries, Libra, Cancer, Capricorn, the external circumstances might be a little bit louder in your life. But everyone is going to get a flavor of what this moon is all about. And this is not an eclipse, but because it is an Aries full moon and it is on the axis of where we have been experiencing Libra and Aries eclipses, combined with the Grand Cross, I think that this could feel a lot like an eclipse. This full moon is happening October 17th. It will be at 4:25 a.m. for those on the Pacific Coast, Pacific time. And if you are in Western Australia, it is happening at 7:25 p.m. Now, this Grand Cross, we have Pluto at 29 degrees Capricorn. It is finally going direct, and Pluto is on a mission to activate deep psychological wounds, to bring our personal power back. And it does that by waking up our fears and showing us that maybe they're not so scary after all. It's probably been the last month that more fear has been stirred up by Pluto for you. And it's now that it's going direct that you are going to start to see the tools that you have, and that moving through what you thought was maybe the worst possible thing is actually not so bad. Mars is in Cancer and it is stirring the waters. Mars is our planet of anger and aggression and war and passion and getting things done. In Cancer, Cancer is a sign of nurturing and comfort, and Cancer is the crab that likes to sidestep around anything that could feel dangerous. So this Mars energy in the watery, emotional sign of Cancer, it can really create big tsunamis in our emotional world. I see this as a very purposeful journey in the combination with opposing Pluto, that keeping big emotions and fears under wraps is no longer the healthy way forward. If we just ride that wave, it's going to get us to where we want to go that much better than trying to suppress it or pretend the waters are calm. And really, with energy like this, I don't think that there's going to be any pretending that the waters are calm. We're going to be faced with moving through whatever is brought up in our subconscious, in our psyche, in those things that we buried in our psyche so that we wouldn't have to face the scary stuff. But those things creep up and they get in the way of our day-to-day functioning anyway. So if we just let them out, we can enjoy the calm water afterwards. The moon is conjoined Chiron right now too, as it is opposing the sun, and that is what is creating our big grand cross with Mars and Pluto opposition, and that moon Chiron and sun. And with the moon in a Mars ruled sign like Aries, this is also going to bring some of that anger and frustration to the surface. Jupiter is our planet of healing and expansion, and it is sending a lovely sextile energy to the moon. So this is our saving grace. This is what is going to create healing around the storm. This can also be an expansion of the emotional energy that we feel with a moon in Aries. So this could be an expansion of anger and frustration, and if that happens, it is a time to let it out. This also has the opportunity to expand old wounds. And same thing, it is a time to, with Mars in Cancer, it is a time to nurture that anger. And what has been on my mind lately and brought to my attention is a wonderful book by Schwartz called No Bad Parts, and the Pixar movie Inside Out 2. These go so lovely hand in hand. If you haven't seen Inside Out 1 or 2, I highly recommend watching it. And if you're interested in this book, grab the two of them. They really drive the point home well together. And really, it is about nurturing those inner parts of ourselves that needed nurturing when we faced scary things rather than pushing them down. And so we're going over the old. That's what these retrograde planets have been doing, especially Pluto in its final retrograde in Capricorn. But it's moving forward now. And it's a book like this, and even a Pixar movie, that can help with those tools of how to move forward. I will put a link below for No Bad Parts. And this can be a great opportunity to grab that book, grab your cozy blanket and a warm cup of tea, tissue box, and go through some of your internal pain, let it out, and give yourself that sweet nurturing that your body and your emotional body might be very much in need of. Overall, I would summarize this moon as deep psychological healing and awareness, and finally moving forward in a way that makes our psychology and our past pains work for us, as well as a deep understanding of what other people are going through. And that can create more compassion, more empathy, more union, and better connection with ourselves and then with others. I really do find that it is first going through our own experiences and realizing how similar we are to other people, how similar our pain is, how similar the wounds that we have gone through are, even if the circumstances in detail seem drastically different. We all experience loss, neglect, hurt in some way. It's through nurturing ourselves that we can find a way to expand that from ourselves and see that commonplace in other people too. Thank you so much for being here, liking, subscribing, watching, commenting. It really means so much. I hope that this journey of eclipses and this full moon in particular goes really well for you, and that this release and purging and cleansing of your psychology and emotional parts is just what you needed. Now let's get into the sign by sign and see how this is showing up for you. Hi Gemini. This is an 11th house full moon for you. So this is all about your community, your networks. This is 8th house Pluto finale. So that talks to deep transformation in your psychological world. It's a death and rebirth house. It has to do with other people's resources. Mars is hanging out for a long time in your self-worth, in your values, in your resources, energetically and materially, possession-wise, what you spend your money on and what you spend your energy on. This Grand Cross is a lot about values and money and possessions and support, and where your energy and your psychology lies with those things. Now, on the practical side of this full moon, this could create some big endings when it comes to your friendships and networks that do not align with your values. This could be business or social. And any wounds that you have with those larger networks and connecting with other people. For you, this very much could speak to those inner wounds inside and how they network and connect to each other. Are all of your inner parts getting along? Or are there some in contrast that are battling for opposite things in your world and creating distress on the inside in some way? Because the sun in your fifth house wants you to have fun. It wants you to be authentically you, and it wants your creative projects to shine. This can be focus on children as well, and being more childlike yourself. Anything that is getting in the way of those things is going to be woken up right now and really give you the opportunity to have a good look at. The energy right now is, it speaks to you and your daily habits, maybe your work and the things that you do on a day-to-day basis that are really creating that beautiful saving grace energy. It's you that has the skills for the mastery right now with Jupiter in your sign and Venus in your sixth house of habits. That means that your day-to-day life is bringing a lot of pleasure, and that is going to be one of the tools and assets that you have with whatever comes up at this full moon. You can be really focusing on what you spend your money on and what you value. Some things might be cut, or maybe the energy that you typically have and the spending that you typically do is slowing down while Mars is in its longer stay in Cancer too. You are going to be really happy to see Pluto move on November 18th from your 8th house, and any psychological wounds that are left, I think that the wake up part has just happened, and you are going to start to feel like you're moving forward and you are the butterfly right now that is emerging from the cocoon. And you really have this strong feeling within yourself of having been through your worst fears and getting past them and feeling like those experiences are now making you feel like you can handle whatever comes your way. And you really can. You have, again, Jupiter in your sign until next June, and that is giving you a lot of power and expansion and blessings all around. Hang in there with whatever changes you're going through with community and networks. Maybe something new that really aligns with your values is coming in, but maybe something has to leave first, and that's probably feeling okay with you too. Have a wonderful time, Gemini. Thank you so much for being here, liking, subscribing, and I will see you next time. For you, Cancer, we have a 10th house full moon. So this could be a radical change in your career, your reputation, any fears that you have around self and partnership and asserting yourself in partnership, especially asserting yourself when it comes to your partner's psychology, or just working through those psychological issues together. Stuff could really come to the surface about another person's psyche for you right now, and probably in a way that you can release this together and move forward in a way that works better for you and works with what truly matters to you and what you're passionate about with Mars in your first house. Overall, the moon in this part of your chart is about your outer visibility, though, and your inner world, and balancing that axis. Partnerships could have a flavor of more fun right now, despite this, because you have Venus in the 5th house. So you might be really enjoying going to these deeper psychological places with your partner, and maybe that's bringing out more fun in the bedroom and more playfulness in that way. That could be especially likely with Jupiter in your 12th house. You might be spending more time hidden away from the rest of the world, or expanding your subconscious mind, expanding your connection to the unseen realm. And that is sending very supportive energy to how you're seen in the world and your career, public image, and status. Cancer, you're one of those signs that is really activated at the time of this moon, especially if you have, depending on where your personal planets are. So this could show up in a lot of different ways in the real practical sense, but I want to emphasize the more energetic qualities when it comes to your reading, because that's what I see being the big thing here. And so watch for how you can transform what you're understanding from a psychological and intangible way, and how you can make that work better for you moving forward. You're going to get all the clues that you need from the outside world to trigger emotional responses. And then hopefully you do have tools that really work for what's coming up, and you can put those into practice and figure out new ways of managing anger and frustration, because Mars is going to be in your sign until spring of 2025. So you are in for a longer run of managing this extra energy and managing frustration and anger in a way that doesn't store it deep inside of you, in a way that you can express it as things come up, and you'll have all of those experiences to practice that along the way. So keep that in mind if you feel like you're getting slammed with frustrating opportunities. These are just put in place so that you can exercise those muscles, and by the end of this transit, you will not be avoiding and sidestepping conflict the way that you used to. And maybe you're not somebody who does that anyway, depending on how things show up in your chart. This will be different for each of you, but everyone will be going through a new level of mastery when it comes to some of the more passionate, explosive emotions inside of us. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Leo. This is a 9th house full moon for you. So this is all about foreign places, foreign people, foreign concepts. And these are your higher mind belief systems. These are the beliefs that you construct about how the world works and how you view the world. This is really important stuff. So even though you are not one of the signs that is happening right on the axes, it is still activating houses for you that I think are quite significant. You have Pluto finally going direct in your 6th house, and this is about your daily habits, your routines, your work, how you operate in the day-to-day way. And Mars is really stirring up how you escape the world, your connection to unseen realms, and this can also represent overseas in the 12th house. But I like to speak about the energy more about this house, and this is our connection to the subconscious, and or our choice to not connect and to disconnect from reality and what's going on. And the sun is in your 3rd house opposing the moon, so this grand cross is activating your communication with the sun in the 3rd house, and siblings. It is media and writing. That solar energy there can be very helpful. I think that it is an energy that's going to create positive communication coming from you. And it's this Mars-Pluto opposition in your 6th and 12th that can really be transformative, but there might be some challenges facing your subconscious that come up. And it's about changing your belief systems overall. It is an opportunity to release an old mindset that isn't serving you as well as it could, and adopting something new. Pluto in the 6th house could be about purging habits and routines and your day-to-day ways of getting things done that are not productive. This is going to be an energy of balancing escapism and productivity, and and rest and productivity, and making sure that you are doing things in a healthy way. If not, this is an opportunity where Pluto and Mars could get into a very jarring confrontation by November 1st, and that is going to be more of an obvious shift that is going to have to happen with your mindset. With the ninth house, this can also rule teaching and teachers. So maybe a new teacher comes into your life, or and it could be someone that you find on social media, given that this is a ninth and third house axis. So watch for insights that have an impact on you, and think about those if challenging situations come up, because I think there's going to be a big tie-in with those themes. Any wounds that you have around spirituality and a spiritual mindset could be challenged around this time, and you might need to go back to figuring out what type of spiritual connection really works for you, because there's so much out there, and whether it's religion or spirituality, there are some pieces of those processes that can be offensive to some people. And you really have to figure out what's right for us and what really fits our personalities. So this could be a time where you're sorting through some of that. Let me know how things are going in the comments below, Leo. Lovely to see you, and I will see you next time. Hi, Virgo. This is an 8th house full moon for you. So this is a heavy psychology moon for you too. You're going to be exploring your psychological wounds, and you have the opportunity here to have big psychological reversals, just sudden reversals, which is an amazing opportunity with energy like this. You certainly could have the situations that propel you to big change, so watch for that. But ultimately, you are going to be purging and releasing a part of your psychology that has been holding you back, and you are going to feel reborn after this. And hopefully having a lot more fun when Pluto leaves your 5th house. But for now, you are going through final lessons about joy and love and romance and dating, as well as your community and networks. This is the Mars-Pluto opposition. And now that Pluto's moving direct, I think that you're going to be getting some insights into how you can move forward from now until November and graduate these final tests that Pluto might have for you. But this time between October 17th and November 1st, when Mars is moving into its opposition with Pluto, this could certainly bring some tension to the mix that really forces you to exercise these new skills. This could have to do with communities and networks and sort of people that you want to connect with that truly bring you joy. The moon is really in a place of values and assets for you too. With the sun and moon on your 2nd and 8th house axis, this is all about resources. If you're lacking in energy and resources, then it is a lot harder to tune into our joy. So making sure that we run our lives in a way that manages our energy well allows us to have some leftover for us. If we are constantly in fight or flight or overprotective mode or hypervigilance, which is a classic for Virgo, just doing too much and being aware of too much because that's what keeps you safe, that is not leaving a lot of energy left over for fun. So this is where you're sorting out what keeps you in that more hypervigilant state and how you can really relax and let go and be more authentically you, which is going to help you tap into that joy a little bit more. You're being seen in a really wonderful, expansive light with Jupiter in your 10th house, and that is, there's something about your career that is supporting this process of psychological healing for you. Venus is also in a part of your chart where you could be communicating more about psychology and relationships. And that is really helping that final stage of Pluto move on in your 5th house, where when it comes to relationships, if there's psychology there that needs to be unpacked and understood and processed, then you're going to have more fun and more ease in partnerships too. Or perhaps it's even a significant partner that is helping you move through some of this stuff. However, this is showing up for you, Virgo, this is a great time to spend time with yourself, and rather than making sense of the outside world and compartmentalizing that, which could be part of the process, this is a time where you could go more inward and make sense of your inner responses to the outside world. And hopefully, in the end, sort that all out, organize that inner closet, and then there'll be space for joy and play. Thank you so much for being here, Virgo. Let me know how this is going for you in the comments below. Happy sorting and organizing, and I will see you next time. Hi, Libra. You are one of the signs that this can manifest in a really big way. Something in partnerships for you is coming to fruition, coming to an end. This is a journey that you have been on for the last couple of years, and if a relationship is ending, you are probably very ready for it. If one is coming into your life, you have also been going through a lot of transformation over the last couple of years. And your reputation is on fire. You are really focusing on your outward image. You might be seen as more assertive and aggressive than usual. And this is about working out how you want to operate in this public image way. Because with Cancer in this part of your chart, avoiding conflict and sidestepping situations is not going to be the best way forward in all situations. In fact, if you are in a leadership role, you are going to be faced with opportunities to figure out healthy assertiveness. And it might come from a lack of assertion in the beginning stages. So watch for that. You might feel that you are suppressing even more than usual. And then you get to the point where you can't, and it can go way in the other direction where you have bursts of emotion that come to the surface, and then it balances out. Then you figure out this happy medium going forward. But if you have been suppressing emotion, it can only go in that direction for so long before it needs to spike in the other direction and then figure out a balance. So it's like a pendulum. And that's just part of the exercise. So be very patient with yourself through this as you watch this pendulum swing. It can sometimes feel like it is happening outside of your intention or your control. And know that it will level out and that it is just about riding this tsunami the best that you can until you get that clear in the zone space. Relationships could very well be, and partnerships, significant partnerships especially, could very well be a piece of this story that's playing out. You are finishing your Pluto graduation in your 4th house. This is your inner world, your family upbringing, your family in general. And there's something about your values that are really assisting this process now in these final stages. But the inner work is still there, and it still could be, it's going to fade as we move now towards November 18th, but it's still, and you have the tools to move in the direction you want to move in, but you're still going to have the experiences showing up that are going to help you exercise those muscles of moving forward. Your perspectives on the world and your spirituality, this is expanding. Your higher wisdom and knowledge is really carrying you through this time. So give yourself a huge hug and pat on the back for that, because you are so wise and you have put so much energy into observing other people and being diplomatic and being fair and figuring out what the best thing to do is in each situation. And so you have that. You have that as a strength, and you're really going to be leaning on that around this full moon. So remember your strengths. If things feel challenging, remember that you are one of the signs that can carry out balance and fairness in the world and with other people in ways that most people can't. And that can also be where you end up being hard on yourself because you have high expectations. But right now, it's really going to support you and work in your favor. So hone in on those strengths that you have right now with your values and your assets and your wisdom and all of the knowledge that you do have, and know that how you show up in the world is naturally going to change. And sometimes with those, in these times where the planets are nudging us and encouraging more change, the situations can just feel a little bit rockier temporarily. But you are coming through a really big time, Libra, and by March you are going to feel like you are on such solid ground. Not that you won't from now until then as well, but a lot of the eclipse energy that you've been going through and the Pluto in your fourth house stuff is really going to be clearing up by March when you have your final eclipse on your axis. And yeah, I think it's a lot of these changes are going to be in swift motion, working very effectively for you. So let me know how things are going in the comments below. I love hearing from you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time. Hi, Scorpio. This is a sixth house full moon for you. So this is all about work and your day-to-day activities, your habits, how you manage your day, how you get things done. This could be a time where your work situations change. You might have work ending or some part of your routine changing in some way. If you have employees, this could be a time when a new employee comes in, more likely when a new employee is leaving. That could be something that is creating challenges in your beliefs and mindset. There's a chance that a teacher could be leaving your life. Or you could be, if you are the one that's teaching, then your teachings are going to be filled with passion and aggression in ways that you're going to be figuring out how to manage and navigate so that your audience can hear you better. You might have a difficult teacher come into your life, and this could change your habits and your day-to-day experience. There's certainly a balance that is occurring right now with rest and retreat and getting work done. If things do feel intense, maybe there's something ending with work, this could be an opportunity or a phase where you do get to rest a little bit more. You have been enjoying Venus in your sign, and not much longer, but it's a big part of what's heating up at this moon. And as you finish your Pluto transit in the third house, so the changes that you've been making to writing and communication, how you express yourself, there's a beautiful art and finesse that is being added to that right now. I see that really helping you at the time of this full moon. So if you're facing any challenges when it comes to employees or your work environment or your day-to-day life, your communication and your ability to be seen in a very gentle and pleasureful way to other people is really your asset right now, as well as psychological healing. You are one of the signs that even though you might be facing this, I think the psychological component for you is a little bit less than some of the other signs, and that you actually have healed so much of this within yourself that this is an energy that is coming up and really benefiting you right now, benefiting how you handle others, benefiting how you share the wisdom that you have acquired and the knowledge in that transformation when it comes to any deep psychological wounds that were holding you back. that you figured out how to overcome. With Mars in your ninth house, this could be about teaching or a teacher, but this could be that you're really passionate about foreign people and foreign places and foreign concepts right now. So you might just be doing a deep dive into some of these things and learning new things about how other organizations work, how other cultures work, and really implementing that in your day-to-day life. Maybe even in your communication. Maybe that's why you're coming across so well to others, is that you have learned and are going through this process of adopting other people's concepts and making more well-rounded ones for yourself. Let me know how things are going in the comments below, Scorpio. I hope that work stuff and day-to-day life is going really well for you, and I will see you next time. Hi, Sagittarius. This is a fifth house full moon for you. So this is all about expressing your God-given talents, who you are, your children, your art, your creativity, your joy, your play, your hobbies. This can be dating and true love. This could be a big new beginning or something coming to an end. Pluto is finishing its transit and now direct through your second house. And this has a lot to do with what you value, how you use your energy. And if your creative joy is not in alignment with what you value, there's a big shift happening there right now. This could also have to do with true love and romance and play and your children. If you have children, you might be finding that you have new values around yourself and things that you want to teach your children. Mars is traveling through your eighth house, and this is a lot about psychological reversals, sudden change and transformation. This can be other people's assets. This is a longer journey that's happening, but it's coming to a head on November 1st with your values, with what's been deeply transforming with Pluto, which is an eighth house planet. But Pluto finishing its journey in your second is getting lit up by this Mars right now. So the transformations that you are embarking on from now over the next 6 months are in some ways completing this Pluto journey for you. And in some ways at this time, tying back to the full moon that is going to change what really matters at a heart level for you. There's no shortage of partnership focus with you, with Jupiter here in your seventh house of partnerships. This can be business or romance, but I think that a significant person is really helping you out. If you're going through transformation, then you could have a really supportive partner that is there by your side. And you could have lots of people showing up that are supporting you in business and in your personal life along all of these intense changes that you've been going through. And soon you're going to have Venus in your sign. So this is a wonderful energy for just focusing on you, getting new clothes, haircuts. This can be your body and your outward appearance. This, along with partnerships, and Venus rules partnerships, is really adding a lovely beneficial layer to your experience right now. So whatever is coming up with your values and your creative joy, you do have some lovely support from Venus and Jupiter. You might have been taking a bit more time to yourself and hiding away from the rest of the world over the past month while Venus has been in Scorpio. But now that it's moving into your sign, you might feel more of that outward expression of what's been going on the inside and on a more subconscious level. So for Sagittarians out there, I see this moon being a bit of an easier experience. I think that you've already gone through a lot of challenging stuff, that you have built a lot of tools in your toolbox to support you through this time, and it looks like you have lovely other people supporting you as well. So whatever's coming up with energy and assets, let me know in the comments below. If things are shifting, then they are meant to, and you're going to see what is coming to build now that you have new values around how you manage your energy, and that's going to reflect in how other people's abundance supports you, how other people's energy supports you, and how you support your own and use your own. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time. Hi, Capricorn. This is a 4th house full moon for you. So this is all about your home and your inner world, your family upbringing, and what you share with the rest of the world, how this inner world affects what you display and how other people perceive you. You are in the very final minutes of your, well, days of your Pluto transit in your house. This could be particularly intense for some of you Capricorns, with your body, with who you are as a person, any final details that Pluto wants to rattle out and shake up when it comes to psychological purging that you need to do. I see this coming to head at this full moon. Pluto has just gone direct, which is wonderful news. You might have been feeling like you were more in the muck for the past month when Pluto was retrograde. But now, and even the last couple of weeks, Pluto was finishing this retrograde and stationing. Now that it's starting to get forward momentum, you have the tools. You can see the way forward, but the situations that you have to climb through are still going through their finishing touches until November 18th. Now with this full moon, October 17th, and then the Mars-Pluto opposition really finishing off this Pluto transit on November 1st, that is when situations could be peaking that are going to have you looking at yourself and your health and your body in a different way. And right now, this really speaks to this 4th house full moon, where your inner world and the energy that is connected to your physical body is what's in focus. This Mars opposition to Pluto is going to be in your 7th house of partnerships. So other people could be showing more aggression towards you. You could have partnerships even being severed around this time. There could be more passion in your relationships. And this is a face-off with Pluto. So it's really challenging the things that Pluto has done for you since 2008 to transform your personality. And now other people are coming to confront this Pluto, saying, show me what you got. Show me what you learned and show me how you're different. This process of exercising the new strengths and skills that you have developed is exactly what's transforming your inner world and 4th house with this full moon. And as a result, you are going to be seen by the public quite a bit more. Your visibility is heightened, and your visibility is likely being heightened because who you are is just stronger and assertive and very clear. Networks, communities, work, Jupiter and Venus hanging out in your, Venus is in your 11th house of networks and friendships, community, organizations, and Jupiter's in your 6th house of work. So there's some lovely energy coming from this part of your life that is a tool and an asset to whatever you're going through with partnerships and your inner transformation and outer presentation. For Capricorns, this is certainly a time of looking at how your family and your mother influence who you are, and those pieces that you want to take with you, and those pieces that you are really ready to transform once and for all. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the comments below how this is showing up for you. And congratulations on your last Pluto days. And I think you have a lot to look forward to with this newly transformed you. I just want to make another note that if you are feeling intensity in health stuff or your body, that I think this will really shift come the end of come November 18th, when Pluto moves on from your sign, but those of you who are really getting hit more from this last Pluto bit can feel it in all ways when it's in your first house, especially. So hang in there, and I will see you next time. Hi, Aquarius. This is the third house full moon for you. So this is all about your communication, short distance travel, siblings, close relatives, cousins, neighbors. There could be some endings or new beginnings here. Mars activating this moon from your sixth house speaks to your routines, your habits, the things that you do daily, maybe your work routines. There's something that is really fired up and changing and creating maybe some endings with neighbors or travel or a way of communicating. There might be a challenging employee that you have to struggle to find new ways to communicate with. This is also about whatever friction is happening in your sixth house with routines and work. This is about changing your mindset too. This is about changing your higher perspective of things and how this changes your ways of communicating in a day-to-day way. You're going through the final stages of Pluto in your 12th house before it goes back into Aquarius for the next 20 years. This last stage of Pluto in your 12th house could speak to transformations in escapism, how you rest, how you retreat from work and the rest of the world, and your connection to the unseen realm and your subconscious activity. This is an opportunity for subconscious purging and psychological release. This is a house where things can dissolve. So you could be dissolving Plutonian topics and potentially psychology work that you've been doing on your subconscious. Venus is in your 10th house and Jupiter is in your 5th. So these are beautiful angles to have support from beautiful planets. You could be having more fun. Your creative expression could be maximized with some challenging energy too. That's sometimes what is the best for our creative fuel. Venus is in your 10th house, and that might have been really boosting your public image. When it goes into your 11th house next, you are going to be enjoying more pleasure with your networks and connections and communities. So you have that to look forward to as you get into this Mars and Pluto opposition. It's going to be your friends and your networks and your community that help you out the most. Thank you so much for being here. Let me know in the comments below how this is going for you, and I will see you next time. Pisces, this is the second house full moon for you. So this is all about your assets, your values, your energy. You have Mars in the 5th house, which is amping up creative energy. This is your God-given talents and your passion and true love and dating and romance. But when it's squaring your 2nd house, this can mean that something to do with the way that you have fun and express your creativity, it needs to face some challenges with your values. And it could be something with romance and dating and love and creativity that actually influences your values in a different way, and something comes to an end with how you're spending your energy, or something really shifts with what you value. There could be a component where other people's support is a part of this story too, and psychological transformation with you. If the way that you've been experiencing joy and pleasure is creating some jarring effects on your psychology, it can open up things that you want to purge and transform, and then that overall shifts how much available energy you have, and potentially even the things that you value start to change. This is especially going to affect your networks and communities. Pluto is finishing its last visit here for you, and as it moves direct and finishes those last few days until November 18th, you are going to start to be putting more changes into action when it comes to making sure that the people that you surround yourself with, whether that is with work or play, that they really align with what you need and what's going to help support your energy and your creativity moving forward. Lovely support is coming from your home life right now and from teachers or your spiritual beliefs. It's these things, it's Jupiter in your fourth house that's really expanding the foundation within yourself, at your home, and where you came from, that is adding beautiful supportive energy to this moon, as well as Venus in your ninth house, which is you're getting a lot of pleasure out of your spiritual beliefs and your wisdom and how you view the world. And that is also sprinkling some positive changes into what's shifting with your friends and networks. So you have a solid foundation, Pisces, and a solid belief system to work with with whatever other shakeups are happening right now. This looks pretty gentle for you overall too. I think you're really going to be happy with the values and the way that you're managing your energy now and how it's really working for you. And the focus is going to be figuring out how to have more passion in your creativity with Mars in your fifth house from now until the spring of 2025. Let me know how things are going in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Aries, this is your full moon. So big changes with you, partnerships, your inner world, and your outer world, what you show others and how they perceive you, your reputation, your status. It could be something really big that's shifting with the place that you grew up, how you were raised, your mother, and that could be having a big effect on you and your partnerships. You're going through the very final stages of Pluto transforming your career and reputation and status. Now that it's moving direct, you are going to feel the tools to really represent yourself in a way that you feel is who you truly are. And you could have purged a lot of things that weren't quite right about your public image. This full moon, though, speaks a lot to wounds that you carry about yourself and how that is holding you back from having a balanced partnership and maybe even power struggle or fears the way that Pluto is interacting here. So any kind of aggression or assertiveness that you use that is unhealthy is going to go through some shifts right now, and you're going to find that the benefits really help your partnerships and you in the long run. It could even be a significant partnership that is really helping transform your inner world and transform who you are through and what you show the world. I see Jupiter in your third house as being a lovely asset to getting the words across, speaking in a way that really supports any transformations that you're going through. You could also stumble across something in media, in writing, in your own writing that you share with the world that is a piece of transforming into this new you. That's what really a full moon in your house is all about. This is a time of the year where you are reaching a whole new level of who you are as a person and what you bring to the world, especially under energy like this with Pluto in your 10th house and Mars in your fourth. This is a big transformation, Aries, and you've been working towards it as the eclipses have been really potent for you over the past couple of years. So this past couple of years is a journey of self like no other that you won't reach again until that next 9-year cycle. And even then, it'll be 18 years before the North Node is in your sign again. So this is a really big time in your life, Aries. I hope that it's going really well for you. Let me know in the comments below. And I look forward to hearing all about this next chapter and the new you that you are feeling you are stepping into. I'll see you next time. Hi, Taurus. This is a 12th house full moon for you. So this can be something coming to light that you did not know about. The 12th house can be our blind spots. There could be something overseas that is manifesting right now. Mars is in your 3rd house, squaring this moon. So communication from siblings, neighbors, things could get more feisty around siblings and neighbors. Short distance travel, be more mindful of around this time. And this could be your own words. So this is a time where the focus could be on managing your passions, your anger, your frustration. How do you deal with the more aggressive side of your communication? And maybe there's some dissolving of that from this moon. You're going through the final stages of Pluto transforming your higher perspective on the world, your wisdom, your spiritual practices, and really how you process foreign things, foreign people, foreign concepts. So there's a bigger story playing out here that has to do with your mindset, the way that you communicate, the way that you connect with your subconscious, and the way that you put all of those things together to make sense of the world. Partnerships are something that are supporting you really well in this mental process, as well as your values. So those are things to really hold on to and know that those are strengths in your life when other things might feel rocky around communication and how to manage those subconscious emotions that just naturally come through. There could be some things that you see in media, in writing, or in your own writing that helps you process anger and frustration in a way that you have not before, or just to a whole new level. The full moon in your 12th house, this could also be a time where you just want to rest and retreat more and have an escape. And that could be a good opportunity too. It can be the right conditions to explore some of the subconscious work and manage some of the more challenging emotions around anger and suppressed anger, especially, or the ways that suppressed anger comes out in your communication. But time away from the world could be what's in store when this moon comes along. And if the energies are feeling heavy, then take that opportunity to go within and rest and retreat. With the sun in your 6th house, there could feel like there's things that need to get done, or it could be that during the time of this moon, at least, those things are draining your energy and you just feel like you need a break. So try to find balance where you can there, and keep in mind that this is about understanding your psychology and how that fits into your perspectives of the world. And there is going to be a supportive partnership that is helping you do just that. Let me know how things are going in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful full moon, and I will see you next time.